All right, so we're live. So let me find my watch page. All right, so we're live. Oops. And you can hear me on my phone too. All right. So hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
So today we're going to be talking, well, like the title says, with a witch and a shaolin teacher. So this should be really fun. A lot of people know Lev already because he's around, but this is my friend Kathy, and we've been friends for about 30 years.
You just gave away my age.
Even though she's only 29.
Right.
So we're going to talk a lot about some spirituality, and we're going to try to limit it to about an hour, hour and a half today. And we'll probably have a part two because a lot of these questions are going to be really deep. Okay, so I'm going to say hi to China and Lev and Kathy and Rose. And these are all the people in the chat room, Kathy, because I know this is new for you. And
Right.
FPV Angel and Jason and Joe, Chris Hayes and Sean G. So I'm glad everybody came. I appreciate it a lot. Okay, you guys want to say hi?
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
All right. So the first thing that we could talk about, and this might be quite a long answer, but what I'm wondering is how did each of you get to the point where you are in your life as far as religion and spirituality?
Okay. You want me to go first? Lev, are you good?
Uh, Very difficult decisions, Amanda. I can go. Uh, I'll go away. I remember when I was about, I don't know. Well, my grandma died when I was like 15, and I had spiritual experiences then. Um, I remember the point when she died. I weren't at the hospital, but I was at home, and I remember it being 8 o'clock kind of thing, and I had a funny feeling or whatever and stuff. Um, and then when my parents came home, they told me it was 8 o'clock or whatever. But for the following, I don't know, several weeks, um, you could smell a perfume, but it was different to smelling it. It was like you could feel your sensations in your nose kind of thing tickling from it and stuff like it were being triggered rather than you were actually smelling something because there wasn't actually a smell there, but it sounded like it to me kind of thing. So then it was a year later when I started practicing spiritual stuff and I got into light work and that. And I did it with an unbiased view because I wanted to know what spiritual truth were. You know what I mean? I want to follow that path and discover it myself. And I didn't look into the Bible or any other religion and stuff like. And that's the way I've stayed throughout my life. Even with kung fu and stuff like that, I find that it brings a lot of balance and philosophy, which helps you through life and stuff. And a lot of it is becoming more of who you already are in a way, because you're yourself, but more expressive. Um, you know what I mean? Because it's all expression in different ways and stuff like. Um, all art forms, whether it's light work or painting or kung fu kind of thing. So yeah, in sense of like religion, it's I've always been, I'm confused with it. It's like which way do you choose, and are we all right? Do we all make sense in some sort of way, or you know what I mean? So are we all like an indoctrination, a way to control the public, or you know what I mean? It's like I'll question everything in that kind of way and stuff. But um, I found, researching more the ancient, I know who's buzzing. I
Right.
got things.
It's crazy.
Um, like the Egyptians and stuff like that, they used to speak about astral travel, and that's how I think that's how we discovered the Book of Thoth, and that's where they read it from and copied it from the astral planes. So So it gives me a lot of faith in it's the right path to do kind of thing. Because like a lot of, I don't know, you can seem guided not to do much in a way. Just have faith, or I don't know. It depends which religion it is and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll pass it forward because it's I don't know. I'll mention again. It's like it's being yourself in it and discovering it. It's what your path is, isn't it? So I don't know. It's like following it in that way. I don't want to be encouraged by one system or another system and stuff. So yeah, that's where I am anyway. But yeah, what's
Good stuff. So how about you, Kathy? How did you
Okay.
get?
I had to do the camera because Michael, my voice doesn't match
Right.
who I am. So I was gifted with a really cool voice. Michael's family seems to like it a lot, but we'll talk about that later.
She's part Greek.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, so yeah, and with that, there's a bunch of crazy stuff that goes with that too. So to start in the very, very beginning, I was raised by a full Methodist family and went to church every Sunday and did the what I like to call now a half thing. They knew what they knew. They were taught what they were taught, and they taught me the best they could. I specifically remember it's really pretty crazy with Lev is that my grandmother was a huge part of my religious and spiritual upbringing, which I 100% believe that those two things are separate. I mean, your spirituality has nothing to do with a religion, in my view. And it took me a lot of years and a lot of screwing around to figure out that is my reality. I raised by my grandmother, Methodist, going to church, reading the Bible, singing the hymns, doing the thing. I asked a lot of questions. Why? How? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. How? If this? Why is that? To the point where one time my grandma just said, "That's when you just have to believe," and I was okay with that for a minute because I was like 9. But growing up and going through things, and Michael knows in the beginning, I did a lot of. I don't know. I believed a lot in just what it was, but I never stopped questioning. I still question everything. I just don't. I don't think it. I don't know. I learn a lot. So my religion was that of Methodist. That's what I went to church that way. Um, then when I was 16, a lovely little Catholic woman, who I swear was the first witch I ever met in my life, um, said that I had a gift and that I was supposed to give it away. And she showed me how to read cards, and I've done that ever since. And what's really crazy is right before this phone call happened, somebody called me and asked if I knew someone. And I said, I don't know them. And they said that I read their cards before and told them they was going to have a baby, Michael. And they did. And they were amazed. But anyway, so I started reading cards when I was 16. And again, that started questioning everything I was ever taught, or shown or told to believe. And so my spirituality started doing something else, feeling energies and tuning into my chakras and myself. And I spent a lot of years addicted to a lot of things. I had some drugs of choice. I full blown alcoholic for 34 years. I drank. I recently, actually, in about 10 days, oh my gosh, less than that, 8 days, if I make it that far, be 3 years I haven't had a drink of alcohol. Every bit of that had everything to do with my energy inside of me changing everything.
Congrats for that.
Oh, it's you know how huge it is. Also,
It's huge.
yeah, you know how that was. And then I decided that I wanted to quit smoking, so I did that too, which was really kind of crazy because once you can figure out the energies inside of you and manipulate them to do what you want them to do, instead of just living like the way that everybody, that you've been taught or whatever. I don't know. You can just clear your energy. You can clean it all up, and I just believe that, and that you're not lost. Like, people aren't lost. They just need some guidance. Need something, some kind of spark, some kind of clarity, uh, some kind of clean energy to get them moving in the direction that they can discover that spirituality.
Yep, I do.
So inside of the religion thing, because I was so confused, I got backed up for a second. I so I studied a lot of witchcraft and druidism and Wiccan and all that stuff, and then I decided to join the Catholic Church because
A little backwards.
well, I mean, I kept it all, I wanted to learn everything. And I think that was the thing, is that I was looking for something that had everything I needed. And really, I don't know that there's one thing. Everything has problems, everything has issues. And but there's cool stuff in everything if you just grab what you need and use that. And that's kind of where I am now. So I'm just kind of a wanderer, and still learning. So.
Yeah, I think we're all learning. I think we'll learn till the day we die.
Well, we hope. We just got to keep everybody doing that,
Just keep questioning everything.
Always.
Seriously. Because you question more, the more you question, the more the truth comes out.
Absolutely.
Well, how I got here was a little different. So I was raised in a home that had no religion, really no beliefs. My mom did play around with tarot cards, so I think that might have been my first experience with anything. I guess more on the natural. You know. Then, then, um, then I started to kind of get into ghosts and spirits, which is energy, as we know now. You know. And really, my serious spirituality came probably when I made friends with you, because we did a lot of learning together and growing on our spiritual side. We studied the Wicca and the witchcraft, and I, like you, made lots of mistakes and had lots of karma to pay. And I'm probably still paying it, but but I'm not making those mistakes anymore. So once I get it caught up, I think it'll be done. And then I, got a little older and realized, everything is energy, and what we feel inside and put out into the world is what we're going to get back from the world around us. So I had, as a younger person, I also drank and played around with drugs. And I didn't know that then, but there's no way that your mind can be straight and clear when you're doing those kind of things. Now that I'm not doing those things and haven't been for a long time, I feel much clearer headed. So I'm kind of like where you are also. I'm learning, I'm training my mind to do new things. I know that you and Leb both have spoke of astral travel. Well, I'm taking mine, I guess, more of the remote viewing path, which I'm not sure if they're the same thing. When you look up their definitions, they have different definitions. One is viewing things here on Earth, and one is viewing things in the entire universe as we know it, and so training my mind to reach my full potential, I think, is my goal at this time, so I can you know, learn things on my own. And if I want to go see them for myself, I can go see them. I guess that's kind of where I'm at.
I think it all helps. Everything you practice, as long as it's not got karmic stuff about it and stuff like that, then it all helps you to connect. So everything has to become easier, like astral travel and whatever else kind of thing. Like,
So now that we'll open that one up, what do you guys think of karma? Do you believe in it, and how do you think that people can repay those debts, or do you think that it just has to happen on its own?
God damn, this one's too much. Hey, Lev, that's on you, buddy.
I believe in karma. I think you can repay your debts whilst you're living and stuff like, and you do your best about things, don't you? You know, I think if you fail to do that, carry over into your next life and then maybe like unconditional, then maybe. There's going to be a lot of maybes with these kind of things, I suppose. What else? What question?
The question was, well, do you think you can pay it off, and or do you think that it has to just kind of come on its own to repay the debts? Like, do you think being nice and going out and doing a whole bunch of good deeds will turn the karma around? Or do you think that you have to face things that are going to happen because of the karma? If that makes sense.
I think you can pay them off. I suppose it depends how severe it is and stuff like that. But I think in some cases, you know, if it's going to be too severe, then no, you're going to have to carry on into your next life and stuff like if you've made an effect on somebody's life in a drastic way and stuff. But if it's less, drastic, then like I don't know, you cut somebody off at motorway or something like that. Then it's I don't know, you could help them out at some point if you bumped into them, if by chance or whatever. It's like fate could guide you together at a petrol station, maybe, I don't know. And you might have an opportunity to make up for it. But it depends on your mindset. Your mindset may be that you never do nice things or kind things, like open a door for someone or something like that. So it depends on yourself in them ways. But no, I believe that karma's definitely a thing, like, really. But yeah. I don't know what else to say on that, really. I think you can.
Okay. So what about you?
Well, Lev got me thinking about a whole lot of stuff right there. Well, the question and then his response. So initially, karma, I've always thought you just do unto others, that the karma that is in all kinds of religions and different places around the world. It's always existed. It's always going to be there. People just call it different things. So what I think now, I used to think you go out, you do good, you receive good, but you got to do it without that being your ultimate goal. For instance, I read, that big white book that I read, and I just loved the part in it that is, you, as an energy, you want to do you want to go through your life the way that whatever it is that makes you happy. Now, me, I'm do good, make sure everybody's okay, blah, blah, blah. And in turn, that's how it's kind of happened for me, is I've always been okay. So I think that's the karma. If you make mistakes and you do something horrible, and because, you know, when we're young, we make bad decisions, and things happen. Is that something that needs paid? Yeah, I think that it has to come back, because you have to be humbled. You have to learn, you know, what to do, what not to do. So I do believe that that's coming. Um, I'm rambling because I can't even focus right now. There's so much in my head. Uh, I believe that you can pay your karma. What I learned now in getting sober, and I got to use it because it's right there. Um, when you realize that you've made a mistake and you've done something, right then and there, you have to fix it. You have to do whatever it takes, you know, so that you don't have to carry that weight around. I think a lot of it is the way we view what we did. So, say that I inadvertently, you know, was paying attention to my own world, and I cut someone off or whatever. But I didn't see that happen. So, how would I know that that's a karma coming my way? Is that, you know what I mean? Is that something that we have to know that we did it wrong for karma to to take place, or is
So
it
you think
just?
intent has
But
intent has a lot to do with it,
I
right?
think intent does have a lot to do with it. I think maybe if the intent is there, or if we're not taught, or if we're not. I mean, this is tough because look at you look at the world around us and how much crazy is going on, and a lot of people think it's okay because this is the way it is, and that's just not, you know, for some of us that's not the way it is. So is this a big pile of karma that's coming our way? You know, I mean, it's hard to say. Now, can you choose when you pay karma? I think that's kind of getting dark. I think that's when you get to depression and you get to making some bad decisions. If you decide that, oh my god, this last year I was a horrible person, so this year I'm just going to make sure that, you know, well, I guess if you make sure that you do the good stuff now, that's okay. But you know what I mean? So I don't know that you could choose when karma comes. Um, but I think that you can fix it before it gets bad.
it's
Right.
the one thing we're faced with every day is this conscience, isn't it? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? As you wake up all day until you sleep and stuff like, it's the one thing which never changes. You know, you go to work nearly every day, but not every day, and
Yeah.
that's not everybody. Somebody might be disabled, or you know what I mean? There's lots of things in different ways of life and stuff, but it makes it more significant that and more expressive to the fact that your decisions about your conscience are like primary, I believe, in throughout your life. Um, so yeah, it must be important, karma.
Okay. Well, I am a true believer in karma,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. Um, now that I've gotten older, I would definitely relate it to our intent. You know, sometimes we make mistakes that we may not intend to make. So, do we pay karma for that? Well, maybe. Maybe we do. But it might not be as severe because it wasn't intentionally done. You know, I do think that karma can follow us life to life if we just were bad and mean and hateful all the way up to our deathbed and you paid nothing,
Mm-hmm.
then, you know, your next life, you
Might
might
suck.
be, yeah, you might be, um, you know, you might have a terrible life, you know, and then, but again, I don't like to think of the idea that karma can follow a child, you know, upon birth. It's like you're born and you have all this horrible stuff happen to you. Does that mean that that's that child's karma?
From the last time, maybe.
Yeah. I
You
mean, maybe
know,
it is,
I
but
mean, it
that's
sucks to think about it that way, but because you always want to say everybody starting out gets that fresh, but do they? I mean, I
yeah, I
don't
don't
know.
know because there's a lot of bad in the world and a lot of children get hurt. I don't know.
Absolutely.
And it breaks my heart to think about that stuff.
It does. And again, like like I said, in that white book, I took a lot from that book, and it just says that anything is possible at this point. We just, but as far as karma goes, I think that if you do the best you can at this point, just don't be a hater. And you'll be all
Right.
right.
Right. Miss China Jones asked, narcissistic, do they have an excuse?
Do
Do they have an excuse? Well, they're so stuck on themselves, China. I mean, that I just don't think that they care what they do to others or how they treat others.
see, that's an intent. I think
There's,
that's
Yeah.
there's two ways that. Oh, sorry.
You go ahead.
There's two ways a narcissist can come about. They're either born like that or they're turned like that from a young age due to maybe like traumatic experience or whatever, or ignorance and stuff like that. Neglect, sorry. Which is one thing. The Buddhists talk about people that come to this realm come from 6 other different realms. It's like the angelic realm, the demonic realm, or them kind of things and stuff like. So it's a maybe. I'm not saying that that's right or not, but you never know. They might be born like that because of those kind of reasons. I'm a little unsure, but it's supposed to be 1 in 9 people as well. Shocking, isn't it? Really. Excuse me. No, carry on, Kathy.
Yo, you guys got my mind just a reeling. Back to the narcissist. Did they bring that with them? Was it? I personally know someone who I believe, I'm not a psychiatrist by any means, but the way that she does things and her intent, she is that person. But I could see it, knowing her family. I could see her being raised in a house full of not really uncaring people, but the same type of people that she is. Everything is for show, including the children in their lives. And I think her karma is happening to her, just like it would be. Now, again, I don't think she knows any better, but I do believe that some of these people have had ample opportunity to learn a different way, or to try different things, and they choose not to. And that's when the karma could come in, does come in. That's when you just can't feel sorry for someone who just, I just think the narcissists are hateful people. They just, whether it's themselves or their surroundings or their everything, they just hate, So
Yeah.
I don't know.
They may hate themselves.
They
but,
probably do. Like, I mean.
So Shauna has a question. She asked, this is a good question. Is karma something that only exists if you believe in it?
If it what? I'm sorry.
Is karma something that only exists if you believe in it?
Well, that's kind of how like a lot of things are, Do you see, that one's a tough one.
I think it still exists. I think it's almost like that's a choice in a sense to choose not to believe it. Maybe it's inspired by what you've gone through in your life and stuff like that. Yeah. Like how can I have been karmed for a childhood which has been bad or whatever. Because it's like talking about reincarnation in a sense. But say if reincarnation is not real, you've got your conscience is everlasting in it, so it's like that kind of exists anyway. So maybe the karma affects your everlasting spirit if there's no such thing as reincarnation and such. But I can't imagine it not being still having an effect in a way. I suppose you could not believe in karma and still be a nice person, as long as as long as you're not crossing your conscience, then you're going to be karma free as it kind of goes, kind of thing.
That'd be awesome to be karma free.
Right. And also,
so cool.
You have to think about it. just because you don't believe in it or something like that, people could probably go through life all the time not believing in karma, but all this stuff might just happen that's frustrating, that's negative, just things you struggle, whatever the struggle is. Who's to say that's not karma? And just because you don't believe in it.
Well, like we said in the beginning, a lot of different places call it a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Karma is just a word for being, for paying a debt for whatever that may be, spiritually or your energies or whatever. So yeah, karma's a tough one. If you I said something the other day to some kids at work, and the belief thing comes in. They served an item thinking that they could get away with doing this one thing. Anyway, long story short, I told them some people believe if they ingest what they were doing, if they ingest that they go to hell. Some people believe that. So do they? Well, we won't know. You know what I mean? So that kind of is where it is with the, if you believe it, does it happen? That's like a lot of stuff could happen. That question can come up. So I do believe that it doesn't matter whether you believe karma or not. I think that doing unto others is exactly what comes back to you. I feel like karma is more of an energy thing than a belief thing.
I do
Does that
too.
make sense? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of how I was about to say it too, is it really does come down to your vibration and your energy.
Yep.
What you're putting out into the world is going to come back to you.
Yep.
And that's one of the very first things that I learned in Wicca is whatever you do comes back times three times three times three. Like
Yep.
you cannot be hateful and you can't be just downright mean on purpose.
Nope.
Um, China has a good question. What if you do not believe in life after death? Hypothetically speaking, of course, just asking, where would you go then?
What do you mean? If
Uh,
it's wherever
I
you
guess
believe.
if your karma can't get you in the next life, so to say.
Well, then that was it. Like you can't. You're not gonna hurt nobody else. If you're gone, you're gone. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But energy can't. I mean, I'm not trying to tell anybody to believe in a certain way, but your energy doesn't ever. It's never going to end. But if you
Right.
believe it did, then that would be the end of it. There's nothing. There'd be nothing else to do. No more debts to pay. If it's over, it's over.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think another contributing factor to bad things that happen in people's lives, a lot of people talk about people choosing the life and stuff like that, like fated type of things and stuff like. So you maybe choose to be born into a bad childhood or such, which has got nothing to do with karma. It's more about giving yourself experience and
Right.
and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
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 God, you guys got my. How am I supposed to sleep?
You don't sleep.
You guys notice from the camera I'm ADD, right? So I'm running around here like a crazy person. And now my brain is doing it too.
um, so if there's plenty of people that don't really give a crap about themselves. So what do you guys think the best way for a person who doesn't care about themselves to try to begin to care about themselves? Like what steps would they take to try to achieve, self-love and self-worth? Because there's a lot of people in this world that don't give a care about themselves.
Um, I got ill, didn't I? And before I get ill, I used to be, proper love life and stuff like. I used to, I don't know, I used to love everything and stuff like. And whilst I were ill, I kind of lost myself. It's like me conscience weren't in the body or something. I don't know, it was like some sort of separation and stuff like. Um, so I tried to learn how to achieve that, and I noticed a lot of spiritual programs that talk about loving yourself and stuff like. But I also noticed that, like in pop industry and TV and all these kind of things and stuff like, all that kind of teaches people to love themselves. But it's very really egoic and stuff like, like the bling and all that kind of thing. Like Rihanna, how cool she is or whatever and stuff. She's too cool for some people to be able to talk to. You know what I mean? And that's not really cool anymore. So loving yourself, I don't know, does that like kind of almost beats the rat race, like putting yourself first? So I kind of considered, because I loved everything, it was more about loving life itself and stuff like that. If you love everything, if you love the people around you and stuff like that, you're not really thinking about yourself. But from that, you become more helpful towards people. You want to do things more. You know what I mean? You become more involved in the things that you want to do in your life. And from that, you can relearn to love yourself in that kind of way. Because it's more like appreciating yourself in that sense, rather than putting yourself first and stuff like. So that's that.
I like what you were hitting on there, that I think that it has a lot to do with surroundings. What you surround yourself with, if you have that opportunity and that choice, what you the people, not just the people, but the if you absolutely hate the water, don't live by the lake. You know what I mean? Like, how do you? I think
it's like depression or something like that, and your heart can't raise to that vibration. You know
right.
what I mean? And like why people aren't loving themselves or enjoying themselves and stuff, because that's what it is. It's about enjoying yourself, and it really, rather than loving yourself, because it gives a different perspective in one way. But if you're enjoying yourself, then you're forgetting about everything and you're just getting on with it, and going with the flow kind of thing. Being
Yeah.
happy.
So I never really. I mean, I guess I never really hated. I never really didn't like myself. I always have been that person, and Michael knows it's been 30 years. I've always been that person uh, to take whatever experiences is we're doing then and do them 100. I have fallen into little depressions here and there, but as far as not liking myself, I didn't realize I didn't like myself at certain times until I cleared my head and saw that. So how would you get someone who doesn't like themselves back to liking themselves? I believe it's an energy. I believe that they have to surround themselves, or if you're forcing this, then you have to surround them um, with positivity and unselfishness, and everything that you can, um, to make them see that it isn't as bleak as they think it is, or that you enjoy them. Like Lev said, if it's about enjoying yourself. So
And experiences, because that's what I learned. The biggest thing from the White Book, and and its conversations with God. Anybody that has interest in reading the book we're speaking about. Yeah, one person in chat did say they've read all 3 volumes, so that's really cool. But experiencing things so you can decide who do you want to be,
right.
what do you want to be remembered for. And that's the big thing that stuck out of that book for me, is who am I? Who am I and who do I want to be? And if I don't want to be that person, I can easily change it.
Yep.
Easily. Just start being who you want to be.
Else, right?
But sometimes you do have to experience the terrible to understand you don't want to be there, and that's not who you are.
Right.
Yeah, Mr. Menza says, I have a problem feeling positive with all the crap going on in this world, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
This world is pretty jacked up, and it's a sad state, and it really does depress me when I think about everything that is going on in our world. There's a lot of terrible stuff.
You got to get into a place inside of you. Use you as a balance beam. Use you as an energy if you can. I was just in a place that I've never been before, and it was freaking awesome. I was in the middle of the ocean on a cruise ship with 4,000 other people, and the enormity of the world and the tiny itty bitty issues that I have. Like, I was a grain of sand in this immense mess that's going on, and I'm okay. So if you can just somehow figure out inside of you, just be okay, that will spread. I'm telling you, it does. Michael knows.
That that takes me to something else. Do you think that being fearful of everything, like some people do walk around with a lot of fears inside. Do you think that that affects your vibration?
What you fear, you draw near. I believe that 100%. If you are afraid of it, you are a magnet. Your energy is pulling that to you as fast as it can so you can experience it and move past it. So stop fearing. Just stop it. Sorry,
Well,
but
I'm screwed. I fear so many
I know. Well,
things.
stop it, because that's what changes. You can't be happy being afraid. You just can't. Like, you can't. So stop being afraid. What is the worst that can happen? You die, and then you know what's next. Like, so what? It's
Or
whatever,
you
right?
live, and everybody
Or
else
you live,
dies.
right? Well,
you know,
that's okay too. Whatever.
that's anyway though. Moving past the fear,
Sorry.
because um, so what about? Okay, so you know, um, like you said, surround. Trying to be positive around other people. So I consider that kind of projecting energy,
Hmm.
projecting our energies out into the world. But what if you do that? Do you think that you chance taking away someone's free will? Because we all know that is a bad thing to do.
Right.
We can't change someone else's choice because that would be their free will by pushing our energy onto them, if that
I
makes
don't.
sense.
I don't, because you're not. I don't feel like I would push, or I don't think you should put. You just be, like I said before. Go inside of you. Fix and clear and clean your own energy, and then just be. Um, because the people that want to be that are gonna see that, and they're gonna want that.
Okay,
The
let's
people that
stop before we move on. Hold on. Because there's going to be a lot of people that have no idea how to clear their own energies and chakras. You know,
uh,
so how about both of you talk about a technique that you have used to try to cleanse your inner self? And then I'll tell you guys mine. And they might all be the same. You never know.
right, right. It might be cool. All right, Lev, you're up. My dog is trying to fight me.
Okay, cool. The meditating and kind of looking into your car, and you visualize a sun, and like make it really hot and make it expand and put more, intensify it as it's getting bigger and stuff like. You make it to the size of your aura, and then you compress it, but you keep that heat and you condense it, so you're making it like way more hotter in that kind of sense and stuff like. Um, and then you expand that again at the same time as pushing more energy into it. And as it's expanding, you see any like black parts attached to your aura and stuff like that, and it'll burn it away and stuff like burn and push away, Um, you do that for like 15 minutes. Afterwards, you feel like, that daisy kind of feeling after a meditation and stuff like. Um, I've also done one where I can imagine like, um, you imagine it like the above you, opening up, and then like water coming through, but like like thick liquid gel energy kind of thing. And that'd like come over you and again wash away any dark bits and stuff kind of thing. Anything referencing negative and stuff like. Um, and crystal healing as well. Massaging my chakras with those. And also laying on the floor, and stretching myself about and stuff like that, and getting into kung fu and keeping your body healthy and stuff like. Um, and that kind of, I don't know, it seems to get everything out of you and stuff like. But yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, So I'm gonna try those because I like the first one that you were talking about. The way I clear my energy, I have a couple different ways. I use outside a lot. Um, I had a tree stump in my yard. I rented well, I bought the trailer, rented the yard. It was weird. Anyway, I had a tree stump that I used to have people that would come over and they would feel icky and negative and they just couldn't shake it or whatever. I'd have them go out and just ground and center. Just take everything that you feel icky and push it out through your hands and your feet, holding on to this tree stump. Um, and by the time I moved out of that place, that tree stump was a hole in the ground. Um, I kid you not. You can ask Michael. She was there. She was. we, we got rid of a lot of ick, and it just whittled away at this stump, which I
Yeah,
never.
it sunk. It totally did.
It did. It was
And
a
it was
hole
a
in the ground.
solid stump, and it was a hole in the stump was gone. And
It
that's
was
the
about a
truth.
foot and a half above the ground when we started, and I lived there. How long did I live there? 4 years,
4 or 5, yeah.
4 or 5 years, and we just used it. And by that last year, it was a hole in the ground. Still a
Yeah.
hole in the ground. Um, I I was kind of afraid because then I moved into a place that has 19 oak trees around it, and I'm like, don't touch any of my trees because I don't want them to fall down. Anyway, it's okay though. They can handle it. They're big oaks. Anyway, I do believe that to clear my energy, uh, when I'm really funky, I go get in the shower and I first imagine a spinning black ball because I want the black ball to pull all the negative. I shoot it straight down through the top of my head, um, all the way down, close my eyes, and I actually let the water of the shower hit me there so that I can have that outside sensation of what it's doing. Send that ball all the way down, pulling all the negative. And then I take a, and start to visualize the white light. And then I send all of that positive back through. That's my quick, my good, I know I'm clearing it all out way. Um, Grounding and centering is huge for me. I do that a lot, but before I do anything, working with any energies or anything that weird that I do, um, I do that cleansing shower where I just use the ball, use a black ball first, and then the white ball, send it right straight down, clears it right up.
Well, I think we must have read the same book because
It's been 30 years, Michael. We read a lot of stuff together.
um, so yeah, but I've done the shower thing, and when I'm in the shower though, I like to visualize the water washing away all of my hurt or my anger or whatever's troubling me.
She's a water sign.
Yeah, I am Scorpio.
I'm Earth. See, that's what happens
there's
outside.
there's a couple other Scorpios around here.
Oh,
There's
God.
several in the people that are in this little group that we talk with, but so you're surrounded.
Fine, I've dealt with it this long. Whatever.
But I also like to put the black ball and I take it down through my body from my head down and stopping at each one and then immediately follow it with a white one. Now, what I visualize in my head is the first time I send the white light through my body, it actually ends up black.
Yeah.
Maybe not nowadays. I haven't done it like that for a while, but back in the day when I was in a very terrible, just destroying me relationship, um, the ball was completely black every time, and I could do it over and over, and it would turn black. It was full. Also, while I'm doing that, I like to kind of flick it out my fingers, like get it out of me, kind of push it out and away from me. Um, and taking after the white, I like to take the green through me. It's the healing, and that's kind of how I like to do it. These are all visual exercises that anybody can do.
Yeah, anywhere. And you got to make sure that mentally you want to not think about all the funk. You want to really focus on the inside and healing you. Um, that's what you want to do.
We might have the whole zodiac. We have a Cancer, a Libra, a Leo,
I'm
another
Taurus.
Scorpio, a Taurus, a Pisces. What do you have?
Libra.
Another Libra. Okay.
Yay. Libras are my favorite for some dumb reason.
Well,
I
they're
have
the
one
scales.
downstairs.
They're the scales. They're really good or they're really bad.
Well, all of them, you know them all, so they are what they are. They're just always around me.
Balanced.
Yes.
Like the yin yang. I think that might be why I got into yin yang. Maybe I don't know. Like some, because I knew I was a Libra. It's like a little reference, like.
Miss China said, "Can you two please elaborate on this black ball? It's interesting." Yes. So the black ball is because black absorbs. It absorbs the negativity. So it's, you're visualizing this and it's a black light and you want to start at your crown and visualize it going through your chakras. I mean, literally visualize
Going
it
all
going.
the negative.
Yes, and have it absorbing anything that's bothering you as it goes through them. And then follow up with the white, the clear, the white light, because that's going to put the love and the
Positive energy.
positive. Yes, thank you. I was
You're
stuck.
welcome.
Put that back in you. Now, like I said, for me, sometimes my white light turns dark, but I go ahead and push it all the way through, out my toes, all the way through my body, and then I send another white light, and that's to put the positive inside me. And I like to do the green because green is for healing. But you can also use other colors in your mind. You can do blue. Blue would be for calming yourself down. Red would be if you want some passion to run through you. Be careful with that red though, because it also can represent anger. So, make sure you're focusing and intently thinking of the passion and not the anger. Yellow would be for some clarity, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the color.
Yellow also draws. So yellow and orange will draw to you.
Yeah.
But I would if you're just trying to get healthy, get happy inside, before you start with the colors, I would definitely just clear. So you want that black, like I said, that, and Michael, that black ball, get it and pull out all the negative, and then fix it with all of the all your positive with the white light. Yeah, because sometimes when you get into colors, as we well know, Miss Michael, shit might come to you and you ain't ready for it. So just
Yeah, it does.
careful. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, you do have to be very careful when you're dealing with any type of energy.
Yep.
Because it can definitely come back on you.
Yep. So
Can't trust a ball with a hole in it.
right.
China's funny. We were on her hangout last night, and it was quite a good one actually.
That's cool.
It got pretty deep. It went. I fell asleep though. I was glad I was muted because I started snoring.
Oh wow.
I was listening to my own voice, but anyway, put me to sleep. So anything else on that, Lev, that you want to add?
What was that topic again?
Cleansing yourself.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like you say, like individual chakras and stuff like that. You can do the sun for that chakra, part of it is like, when you're going through it and stuff like that. And because it's like, I say, like 15 minutes of expanding it and stuff. And when I like teach people, I don't really tell them how long it's going to go on for. So when they first imagine a sun, they imagine it quite bright anyway. So when I tell them to expand it and make it brighter and stuff, then it's getting difficult for them to make it brighter. So then I also tell them to like, you imagine like if the sun implodes and explodes and stuff like that, it's going to get bigger and brighter again. So you can see it in that kind of way, and all you have to do is make it intensify and stuff like that. So as the imagination goes, more on that kind of level and stuff, it's kind of, I don't know, obliterating things and stuff kind of thing. Like I end up seeing it like, it starts off as yellow and then it sort of being white itself and stuff like as well. Like you mentioned white and stuff, white energy and stuff like clearing, cleaning. I always call it. Um, Sleep's important as well, isn't it? It's one of the things we're talking Shaolin Temple and stuff. So people always fall asleep while they're meditating, and they don't wake them up because that's they put that as a priority more than the meditation. Once they wake up, they can meditate, then maybe or stuff. But yeah, it's all kind of ways. So and preventing yourself from getting the negative energy and stuff like. Which is another thing, like, I talk about kung fu and stuff like that, like stretching. You don't have to do kung fu, you can just do like a normal stretch and loosen yourself off at home, can't you, and stuff like that. Which, everything contributes to it.
And Mr. Menza asked, hold on, I have to find what he asked. Would you imagine a clear ball doing anything?
It depends on your intention, I think. I mean, the colours have frequency, don't they? I see them as kind of thing like. So if you're intending for it to be a clear ball, if you're not aware of the colour differences and stuff like that, I kind of think it's going to make a difference. It will work, and now you want to do it and stuff.
China has a good question. Does anyone have any advice on the key to meditating? She can't get past the first couple minutes without being distracted.
I was reading some cool meditating things because this astral travel thing is pretty cool to me. So I was reading a bunch of books, and they said to do it in the same place every day, and when you start out doing it, only do it for a short amount of time. So if you're going to start to meditate, only do it for 1 minute. Do 60 seconds. Stay focused. When I first started, because I have adult attention deficit hyperactivity disorder with no medication because I'm an addict. So anyway, I just deal with it. So meditating for me was really, really hard in the beginning because I can't stay there. So in the beginning, it taught me to focus on the breath, where my breath is coming from. Is it coming from my diaphragm? Is it coming from my throat, my chest, my nose? So pick a focus and do it for 1 minute. Focus on that. And that's how I got to be able to not fall asleep, because that was my big thing, is that I would just fall asleep. I was trying to meditate in different places. They told me to find the one place. So I went and bought a pillow, a big giant pillow, and I sit. So I'm not too comfortable, but I do it in a rocking chair now in a little room. But anyway, yeah, just do short things to train yourself. Meditating, I think, is like everything else, and you have to kind of teach yourself how to do it, especially if you're crazy like me. So that's my advice.
So there are different forms of meditation. Is like me, Kung Fu set is a meditation because I'm focused into it. So you can be playing a guitar or painting a picture, and that's kind of meditative kind of thing into it. Another thing about meditation is there's empty in your mind, which is one thing, but it's unnatural for your mind to be empty. So a lot of your meditation is generally letting thoughts come and go. And I like describe it like the ocean, so it's like waves lapping back and forth and stuff. So as one wave comes, another one comes. As one wave goes, another one comes. So that's like with your thoughts as well. So you're not supposed to linger on a thought. So um, so that's how that kind of path's supposed to go and stuff like. But other meditations as well. I've done that trained meditation where it's a focus and you're visualizing with your third eye, with your eyes shut and stuff, and that kind of triggers your serotonin, and you can have like an hallucinogenic effect off that kind of thing. It's like astral travel, but it's kind of guided in a sense, automatic even. And again, like I said, it's like doing all those things, everything, it all seems to connect you. And then once you've connected, you can be, I think you seem to be full ability kind of thing, like, and you can just, I don't know, astral and all that kind of thing. It all just seems to connect together, I found. And that's why I wanted to teach the, the meditations I've got and stuff like, and there's not many, there's about 6 or 7 or something like that. And then if you practice them all regularly, like, I don't know, 3 times a day, I don't know, I used to do it all day, every day kind of thing, like with my mates and stuff kind of thing. And it didn't take long, you know what I mean? And it's suddenly, you know what I mean, you're seeing a lot of visualizations, which are like, I don't know, it gave me a lot of cognitive dissonance because I'm like, whoa, I'm actually seeing this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? So, it was quite exciting. Oh, anything else about meditation? I don't know. I can't remember. It might come back to me.
Michael Lynn.
Yeah, sorry. My granddaughter's here.
Oh, right on.
She kept trying to wave to you because she sees you, and I told her that you can't see her.
Is it McKaylee?
Yes.
Hi, McKaylee.
She said hi.
Tell her to come over here and pick these toys up.
Well, meditation, yeah. What I found helped me.
Did that help your friend?
What?
The one that asked the question.
Well, now she said that she's having a problem. Some people are fighting next to her right now. So she might
Are they people that matter? Because she could just leave. Just saying. So, you know how I do matter. Oh, okay. Well, that's
I think they might matter. But
punch them in the face. I'm just playing. Don't punch them. Karma.
Right. Intent there.
Right. Don't punch them.
Anyway. With the meditation, what I found helped me was listening to and I say it wrong every time, but the steglio frequencies, which each one has a different purpose, and they're different hertzes, and they play. There's a thing on YouTube you can find all of them. So they go through them all. They start at the very lowest, and then they move up, which cleanses your negativity, and then they move up to connect you with source, and move on and on and on to open your third eye, and so on and so on. And it works its way through your chakras, each one getting worked with the different frequencies. That helps me meditate, but I do fall asleep a lot. So that's a big problem. I get too comfortable. So I would suggest to be comfortable, but not too comfortable.
That's why I had to sit up, because I was doing it on laying down and just trying to prop. And now I sit up so I don't fall asleep anymore.
Yeah. Let's move on to one more. Did you have more to say, Lev?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Your position is a thing, like sitting in lotus position, and then when you learn like abdominal breathing and you're trying to like focus on to doing that at the same time, it's almost like doing a juggling act and stuff like, and it's uncomfortable to sit in lotus position. So I'd curl up on the sofa and do it and stuff like, and be less conscious on breathing, learn it and stuff like that kind of thing, and apply it and stuff. But it's more, it's about enjoying it, I kind of think, and because whenever you read about it, it's always talking about achieving bliss. So you've got to be in that state. You've got to be, because you connect to conscience. So you've got to really, wow, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So that's it's achieving that vibration as well. Because if you're sat there and you're thinking it's not going to work and stuff like that, then you're already not in the vibration. You need to pick yourself up and think, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm meditating in that kind of way.
Yep.
If I'm not going to connect today, then at least I'm on the right path and I'm doing it. You know what I mean? It's like I've always enjoyed the journey. So it's like if I've gone to a kung fu class, the first time I've been to that school, that's one of my favorite lessons because I learned so much because I don't know any of it kind of thing. So you know what I mean? I always enjoy going through things and stuff like. Um, so don't worry about being a master, I suppose. Just enjoy where you are, and as long as you're enjoying it, you're going to achieve more. I feel.
That's super, super, super advice. I love that. Actually, I'm going to take that with me. Thanks, Lab.
Um, so let's talk about dietary habits because someone brought it up. I mean, one of you guys, I don't remember which one, but talking about when you're trying to cleanse yourself and stuff, changing your dietary habits so you can have a lighter feeling. So, have you guys changed any of your dietary habits, such as, taking out meat or eating only organic foods or growing your own foods to assure for a fact that they are organic and we're not being lied to, like like our governments like to do? UK is the same as America, as far as I can tell from talking to all the Brits that I talk to, they have just as many problems as we do. So,
You've seen my yard. I can't grow anything. I can't grow grass. I could grow oak trees. That's what I can grow.
well, you used to grow your herbs in your
I
little.
do. I do the herbs, but as far as food goes, so with me, yeah, I've been in and out. I started my journey years and years and years ago with changing the food. That was the first thing I did. Um, the first thing I consciously did to try to change what my world was the food. Um, it's so hard when you like meat to be a vegetarian. It's so hard.
I'll tell you what, I did the vegetarian thing for a little bit and I was starving. Like, I
See,
guess I
and
just don't like enough foods to supplement.
well,
That's
see, I love food. Like I love mushrooms, and I could do it, but I don't know. I let the energy of others. This crazy man that lives with me. He just he's so difficult. He wants cheeseburgers and such. But honestly, I think that if you just be aware of what you're putting in your body, um, whether it's you just cut out certain things. I think that if you just cram ick in, I mean, you're not going to be able to, your blood's not going to flow right, nothing's going to be right. So um, I started years and years ago with just kind of a cleaner eating, and every once in a while, you have to binge. I bake cookies all the time, so I eat cookies, um, but they're not fried, so that's good. I stay away from fried stuff, but yeah, I do think that you can feel better if you stop ingesting a lot of garbage. Um, you just have to find where it starts for you, and I mean, I can't give you a perfect diet because, like you said, Michael, we've tried it, and there's just different people like different things. So just read the package as close to being able to pronounce everything that you eat is where I would start with that. But I do believe it'll clear your energy. It'll make you feel better. Your blood run better. Everything would be better if you just watch what you're putting in there.
I agree. I did a video on GMO foods not too long ago. It's on my channel, and I actually put the list on the screen of if the foods say any of these ingredients, you should avoid them because they're definitely GMO foods based on those
Right.
things being in them, you know.
Yep.
So that's a good one to watch and, actually do some research about what ingredients do GMO foods contain. If you don't want to go watch the video, that's fine.
Right.
Look it up. Look it up and learn
Yep.
and then actually read the packages,
Yep. We do. So I have a funny story. Michael knows my old man very well. He's been with me for 20 years, and he's been through the ringers. So yesterday we were at the store, and he wants me to make this ham and cheese soup. Well, I don't like ham, but whatever. So we're buying the ingredients, and we need some paprika. So you have paprika that's 99 cents, and you have paprika that's 2.49, and then you have paprika that's 2.99. So he wants to know the difference. So he starts to read, and the paprika that's 99 cents, literally the third ingredient is paprika. The first two are things you can't say, and they're anti caking agents. And then the 259 had the first ingredient was anti caking that you can't pronounce. And then the second one was paprika. So the 299 one, which is what I have now in my cabinet, has paprika. That's all. It's just paprika. So seriously, turn it around and don't go for the cheap. Um, if you're if you're just starting out, every little bit of money that you get, just try to start with your spices, start with your things that you're going to put on your food. um, Start there. It does get, you can't do the 99-cent stuff, it just doesn't work that way. So anyway, that was just a story that just happened. So,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
he's a unique individual.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yes, he is something else.
So what about you, Lev? I mean, did you change things when you started your kung fu learning and learning the shaolin and the stuff, astral traveling, because a lot of people I've heard and read books and stuff that meats weigh you down. And when you're trying to astral travel, you want to try to be as light as possible, even possibly fast before you do it.
Yeah, when I practiced light work, and it's like you're kind of like you're connecting to conscience and stuff like that. It's like your higher conscience and stuff like. So it's kind of like part of you is that. So uh, when it's it's kind of like, I don't know, being instructed what to do in a sense. I don't know where I learned the exercises from, and well, us, a group of us kind of thing. Um, so according to that, we were supposed to fast for several days and then go vegetarian. Um, and which I did, and I kind of felt fine at the time. It didn't really bother me and stuff like. There's one thing about vegetarians and vegans which they tend to lack vitamin B12. So it's like that's one of the things that why people fall in vegetarianism and veganism and stuff. If you're not keeping that up, then the brain's not going to be able to keep up with it and stuff like. So what I did it for a couple of years, like work, and then I don't know, my life got busy and I kind of focused on that and stuff like. Um, which I don't know, for a lot of stuff in it kind of thing. It was kind of mad when I was doing it, like, but so I don't know. I became a meat eater again, and at the beginning of this year, I tried to become vegetarian again. Maybe it was because of a lack of vitamin B12, and I felt ill. I don't know. I weren't well, so I kind of went back into meat and stuff. But you feel quite healthy on a balanced diet, don't you? I mean, I think that's one of the things. And I was reading about Bruce Lee's diet the other day, and he'd start off the day with muesli, which has got nuts and fruits in it and stuff like. Um, but he weren't a vegetarian. He'd have regular meals quite often, but not big meals and stuff like. So he'd always process some big energy and stuff like. Um, what else was I going to say? He used to avoid flour-based products. And he was saying that were like dead food. Also, I've researched like stuff on dentistry and stuff like that, and they were blaming flour for like cavities and loss of teeth and stuff like. Um, so I don't know. Flour is an interesting thing to cut out of your diet, I think. Um, I've also done a lot of research on what you say about a meat and vegetarian type thing. And like some spiritual channels will end up describing it as like you've got 2D meat, 2D food, which is like your vegetarian type stuff, your plants, and your 3D meat, food, sorry, which is your meats. Um, because they're living things, in the sense of like how we are and stuff like that, they're more similar to us kind of thing. And for years, I don't know, I've struggled with meat. Sometimes I can't stand the smell of it cooking and stuff like that. Sometimes I can't face it and stuff. I end up like making spaghetti bolognese because it's less noticeable. It's a different way of doing it, like. But I intend to try again, and try and I don't know because I do think it does have stuff to do with it. And I remember like we're exploring like astral planes and stuff like that, and it's kind of like it's a big place, and it's got all these. It seems to have all these other realms where other existences are or whatever and stuff like. But it's like depends upon your frequency of where you can go in a way. If I want to go to the heavenly realms, I need to be vibrating at a high frequency. And I don't think like the other thing, I don't know, depending what level of frequency you can achieve, it depends on how you can get there in that kind of sense. So does all that have to do with it, you know? I mean, I can't imagine people going to hell for eating meat and stuff like that, but maybe they can't ascend to the highest levels. It's one thing to consider and stuff like. I mean, it sounds kind of crazy and stuff like that kind of thing, like, but if you practice it all, if you do all these exercises and you tune yourself up and you start to have the ability to travel from places and stuff like I've mentioned before, it can cause some cognitive dissonance because you kind of realize, whoa, it's real or whatever and stuff like that. But it's truthful, isn't it? So, you know, so that's one thing I wanted to mention, like whilst I was doing my channel and when I will be doing it and stuff like, and doing my exercise and stuff like, um, it's because essentially it's everybody's own personal choice whether they become a vegan or not and stuff like vegetarian in that case. I'm not really going to push veganism and stuff like, but I don't really want to push vegetarianism. Like I say, it's everybody's personal choice. I'm not going to be able to make anybody choose to do something because everybody's got their own choice anyway. So I kind of think once people do connect and they kind of get to astral planes and stuff like that, then that might give them the incentive to choose not to do it or not. You know, I kind of think it's still their choice either way, kind of thing. So I don't know. It's advised apparently from spiritual senses and stuff, but yeah.
All right. On that note, I think I'm going to wrap this up for now. My guest has to work early, which is fine. I used to work in very early shifts, and you need your sleep, even though you won't sleep tonight. But still.
Well, I'm gonna be a flying.
But so we can probably continue this maybe Saturday evening if you both are free for like a part 2.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Does that sound all right?
Yep, I'm game. I think I'm gonna be baking, but just let me know what time.
Yeah, I definitely will. And baking's fine. We can see your kitchen instead of your bedroom.
Oh, sorry. I'm tired, damn it. I've been laying here for 2 hours.
No, it's all right. It's good.
My
But
dogs will be happier down there than up here anyway.
yeah. They might not attack you so much.
Right. Cheech was about to eat my face off. Anyway, well,
But
this was cool. It was interesting. Got a lot of stuff to think about, and like I said, Lev, I kept some stuff from you. Sorry, swiped.
No, that's what it's for. I want people to know. You know what I mean? I want people to, the more it's taught and spread, the better, isn't it, really?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
No point in keeping knowledge to yourself. So.
right. Exactly.
I want to tell everybody in chat, thanks for coming. And we'll continue this tomorrow night. Tonight's Friday, right? Yeah. So we'll continue this tomorrow night. And I will see everybody then.
All right, cool. Nice one. Catch you later.
Bye.
All right. Bye.